tonight we're going to make a roast pork loin. We got a, an end cut of a roast pork, raw pork loin. Got that. We're going to sprinkle a little bit of Greek seasoning on it. It's got oregano and black pepper, sage, garlic. So we're going to make a nice coating on that. And we're getting our pan nice and hot. What we're going to do is we're going to roast it with some vegetables. We're going to use some carrots, some onions, some celery, and then nice and seasoned up here. Getting our pan nice and hot to sear it. And then go in the oven. Going to go in the oven about 350. I want to get it nice and seasoned up. So it makes a nice crust on the outside. We're going to add a little bit of oil, a little bit of vegetable oil to our pan. And once we get that all seasoned up, we're gonna got our carrots, our onions. We're gonna just make a heavy dice on them. Carrots, onions, and celery. Put about 3 or 4 potatoes in there, and then we have some bok choy that I want to chop up and put in there. So I'll get all that set up. Pork loin nice and brown. We're gonna sear that in, sear in all the flavors, and then once we pull that out, I'm gonna put in all of our vegetables, our potatoes. Another thing we're not going to put in right now is the bok choy. We'll save the bok choy for when we're closer to being done. One other ingredient that we're going to put in there later on is so things don't, try to get the pan drippings and everything mixed up and it doesn't burn in there. We're going to put a beer in there, lager style beer. We're going to use Yuengling for that. It'll add a little bit of moisture to it. We'll put that in probably about 15 minutes into the cooking. So our pork easy for me to say. Our pork loin is nice and brown. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add all of our veggies and then mix them up, get them nice and, a little bit of cook on them. Got our potatoes, some celery, some carrots, all goes in. I like using this Calphalon braising pan. I cook with it quite a bit. It's a nice roasting pan. You can put my chickens, I put my chickens in there. So we'll get them moved around a little bit. And these will all cook down a nice roasting, have a nice roasted pan vegetable with it, all one pot meal, all around under $10. I think the pork loin cost me about $5 at ShopRite today. Bag of potatoes were on sale, 5 pounds for $2.99. I think I only used 3 or 4 potatoes. Carrots were like $1 a bag. Celery and some onions. And really, you don't have much of much expense. You can feed a family of 4 or 5 with under $10, and it's becoming more and more important to watch. I mean, shopping, groceries are getting so expensive. It's not even funny going through the grocery store today. If you're not using club cards and coupons and everything else, you're spending a fortune. I mean, beef was, I think 2 steaks was like up over 12 bucks. It's insane. So, alright, we're going to put that in the oven, get it in there for about a half hour, rotate it, check it, add our beer if we need to at that time, see how close everything's getting to being done, and then we'll be back. Alright guys, we're back at it. Our potatoes are getting pretty much done. They'll be done in a little bit. Carrots are just about there. I think our pork needs probably about, I'd say another 15 minutes. She's getting there. But I'm not going to add any more liquid to it because this pork seems to have plenty of liquid to it. So I'm not going to add a beer to this one. What I will do is I'm going to add some bok choy, and then we'll let that cook down and put it back in the oven. And with the bok choy cooking in it. Bok choy just takes a little amount of time. I don't like to overcook it, but I think with the 10 to 15 minutes the pork needs, I think the bok choy will come out fine. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how I cut the bok choy. I leave the leaves on them, but what I do is to the ends is I cut them nice and thin so they cook down and have a little bit of crunch still left to them. So they're actually pretty, cutting them on like a bias cut, slicing them down as thin as you can get them, kind of like you do for a stir-fry vegetable. You set that and then come back and with the tops just make a rough chop on that, and then it can sit. The pork will sit on top of that and let that cook down. So again, lay your knife on the top of your finger, roughly like that, and then you come towards it and make nice thin slices. Using up all, you know, don't throw anything away. You know, these can be a little tough if you too thick, but you leave them thin and they'll be fine. Rough chop there. I think we'll do one more, real thin. Thin and rough chop on the tops. I think we're only going to use that many. I don't think we're going to use this other one. Alright, I added a tablespoon of, probably half a tablespoon of dried rosemary for the vegetables. Give it a little bit more flavor. Take the pork out real quick. Mix in the bok choy. Get everything nice and stirred up with the juices. That together, and right back there, put it back in the oven. Another about 15 minutes, we're good to go. Alright guys, there it is, ready to get sliced down. Got all the vegetables are cooked down. So it's a one pot meal that costs you under 10 bucks. Under 10 bucks to feed a family of 4. So there it goes. Try it out. Hope you enjoy.